brings a conservative point of view to black issues. His mission: to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project Studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, Jermaine Buxio.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Conservative Nation with me, your gracious host, Jermaine Buxio. How is everybody doing on this beautiful Friday evening? How's everybody doing? Make sure you guys do me a favor, hit that like button. Make sure you share, all right? Absolutely. Make sure you share. I'm trying to get this. Okay, here we go. Trying to make sure I get my lineup. My lineup disappeared here for a second. How's everybody doing? Beautiful Friday. Here in Minneapolis, it's cold. It's really cold. You can't get around that. Hopefully, everybody's being warm or get into a nice, cozy location. We about to get busy. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. All right, so it looked like I was able to do that. Looks like we good there. We good on here. Oh, yeah. It looked like we good. Oh, yeah, I'm cold. Absolutely. It's negative 2 degrees where I'm at right now. Let me turn this up. Negative 2 degrees. It's really cold. Yup. Got my Army Edition slippers on and my long johns. They match. So, yeah, we're going to get busy. Make sure you share. We got a lot to discuss tonight. We do. Let me go ahead and give some folks a shout out. We haven't done shout outs for a while. Make sure you guys share. Friday, beautiful Friday. First shout out goes out to MAGA Cap Wearer. Shout out to MAGA Cap Wearer. Pizza Sticks, Ron Baker. Haven't seen Ron Baker for a while. Absolutely. Gina Barfield, how you doing, sweetheart? How you doing? Who else do we got here? My guy, Chris Paulin. Shout out to you. Chris Paul, a lot of folks are mad at you. Don't you worry, Chris. Join the club. Shout out to Dixie George. Beautiful Dixie George. How you doing, sweetheart? Oh, yeah, I also want to give Dixie George a shout out for a donation. Last show, my mouth ran so much, I missed it, sweetheart. So shout out to you. Eat all, save none for later. Shout out to you. Who else do we got here? Elaine Gertson. Shout out to you. Dolly Shortcake. How you doing? Pookie Martinez in the building. How you doing? And who else? I think that's all I see right now. Shout out to y'all. Absolutely. Oh yeah, eat all. I'm okay. I'm cold. I'm cold, brother. Yeah, brother, cold. Absolutely. Me free out. Shout out to Dolly Shortcake. Says love your show. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Well, it looked like producer said I got to be on schedule here. Let's go ahead and get rocking. I'm ready to flame, ladies and gentlemen. First one up here. I want to go ahead here and show you guys this crazy viral video. It was put on this crazy app called TikTok. You guys know TikTok, right? Absolutely. It's crazy, let me tell you. Owned by some Chinese folks. Destroying America. Well, let me tell you something. This video is absolutely wild. It's about a woman who broke up with her ex. Well, apparently the guy broke up with her. And what she did was destroy the man's home and everything inside of it. She had her girlfriend tape her while she destroys the home. I want to go ahead and show this. It's so viral. Everybody in their mama's mama is showing this. Make sure you share. I need to speak about it. I got sent this by probably 4 or 5 folks. Shout out to y'all. Here we go. Make sure you share.
Watch my brother's ex-girlfriend destroy his home after they break up.
Oh, that was pretty cool. Love you. Why don't we just talk about all the good stuff we had like we used to?
She burned his birth certificate, social security card, and suit. Broken glass everywhere. She broke every window she could. He called the police 6 times begging for help. Not one time did he lay a hand on her as she destroyed his home in front of his eyes. She broke his monitor, computer, keyboard, and a mattress. As she smashed the shower, she laughed and said, "Oh, that was so pretty," taunting him. She put a total of 71 holes and dents into the wall. Ripped wallpaper and more broken glass. Even more broken windows and glass. This is where she broke in at after being bonded out of jail. Those are her orange jail shoes. My brother and our mom were out getting an emergency order of protection. After breaking in, she did even more damage to the house. Broken TVs, and she flipped the table. Destroyed the cabinets and the oven. She then flooded the basement. When they got back, there was 3 inches of water. To top it off, she smashed his windshield. He is absolutely crushed. I created a coffin to help with damages. His birthday is the 4th, and I would love to surprise him with
Gina Barfield, you absolutely right. She crazy as hell. She crazy as hell. She crazy as hell. She destroyed everything. I mean, talk about cool for Cocoa Puffs, ladies and gentlemen. That's seriously cuckoo. She destroyed everything. Holes in the wall. Floors are tore up. I mean, she flooded the basement. I mean, man, I don't know what to say. But one thing I do know, you got to make sure you press charges. You know, I tell gentlemen this all the time. This type of behavior here, this waiting to exhale, if people know that movie, I believe it's Waiting to Exhale, got Whitney Houston and a bunch of other ratty black women in it, where they sat there and burned a man's car and all the women were clapping. Right? Isn't there a song out there? I forgot who put out the song. But there's a woman singing about, destroying a man's car. Right? I think it went number 1 on the Billboard charts. Women love this song, don't you? Women out there know what song I'm talking about. Some woman is singing about destroying a man's car. All the women are jumping up and down for it. So this type of, behavior is encouraged in our society here. And then, to top it all off, this is where the beta-ness come in. The man is there while she's destroying his property. And he did not stop her. I want you women to understand how this society has pussified most men. Because most men would allow the woman to destroy their property. Most men are betas like that. I want the women to understand. That's how much power you have. And it's a perceived power. I want the women to understand. To the point where when you act crazy and wild, most men will allow you to do it. You break everything around you, right? Common sense would be to stop your ass, right? Hold you, restrain you, do something, right? In the real world, right, you'll get probably knocked out. You're over here knocking down TVs, putting holes in walls. Guess what? It's probably a knock and a bump on your head. That's the real world. I want folks to understand that is the real world. But of course, most women don't live in the real world. So they're able to go and destroy property and then, get away with it. So I want folks to understand that's how crazy it is. Where somebody can destroy your property, a woman can destroy your property like this, and most men will allow it because they have been raised in this society by their mama. And remember, I told you, this is what happens when the feminists run wild in our country. You don't get your way, so you go ahead and you start destroying stuff. And then you're so weak that you allow this to happen. You allow thousands of dollars of damage to your property. Let me tell you something, gentlemen out there, this is what happens. That's why you have to start standing up for what is right. And this guy probably learned the hard way, vagina ain't worth it. I'm telling you, it ain't worth it to be a beta. And then he called the police 6 times. I mean, this is just outrageous. How can you just go around and film this? That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, destroy everything. Destroy everything. And the thing is, I love I love women out there too. Women are like, well, what was she angry about? Shout out to the beautiful Kelly Land. I don't know what she was angry about her getting dumped. Absolutely. I have had this happen to me before. I've dumped a woman in college. She came with a baseball bat trying to beat on my door. Called the police on her. I kid you not. I don't make this stuff up. I don't at all. And there's probably some gentlemen out there who can concur. There's some women who are absolutely crazy like that. Call the police on her, press charges, they didn't do nothing to her. Somebody come and beat on your door. Somebody come and destroy your property like this. So I just want to show people the dynamic of what's going on in our country here. Where somebody can sit there and call the police 6 times. The police don't even take it seriously a lot of the times when you're a male. That's why men out there don't like reporting women who are beating on them. And when it comes to domestic violence, 90% of the time it's initiated by the woman. Because, she thinks she's smaller, you're a man, she can hit you and it, quote unquote, doesn't hurt. It's really, really crazy. So men have to start waking up. You have to start doing the right thing. You have to call the police. A lot of guys are into that bad bitch behavior. They think it's cute, sometimes, I don't know if it gets their rocks off some. But I'm letting you guys out there know that bad bitch behavior come out to bite you. When she's doing all that bad bitch behavior, I'm letting you know, and she's letting you know, that she is not a woman to be messed with. And there's a lot of guys who cannot pick up those red flags. They somehow, glorify the red flags in our country. All the good women who are out there doing the right thing, the media doesn't like to show them. They like to show the women who are out of control. And when you turn on the TV, right, you can put on, what's that dumb show? Teen Mom. Those women on there fighting. You could put on, Housewives, Real Housewives of Atlanta or New York. Those women are fighting. These are the portrayal of women that they're pushing out in our media. And a lot of these women are adopting these traits. So I just want folks to see this. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. All right? We definitely going to need your help. All right? We definitely going to need your help. Next one up. I want to go ahead here. And let me pull this up here. I want to go ahead here, ladies and gentlemen, and speak about kids who were robbed by adults in the LA area. This comes from the Southland area in California. And the thing is, with adults robbing kids, this has been happening here in Minneapolis as well, in a lot of major cities. Kids with cell phones seem to be the easy target. It's like taking candy from a baby. I mean, it's virtually very easy. I want to go ahead and run this when I come back. I want to speak about it. Make sure you guys share. Here we go.
Adults to come out of a car, take their belongings. They're very vulnerable. They don't expect adults to come out of a car, take their belongings. That's a very scary situation.
Two female blacks and two male blacks get out and accost these two young ladies. They specifically target their cell phones. What I can say what is important for the public to know is we need people to be able to track their iPhones, track any of their cell phones, turn on their tracking devices, and have the passwords in order to do that. About an hour later, another gentleman was on his way to Los Angeles High School. He was also targeted by the same individuals in the same vehicle, and they stole his cell phone. They're attacking children, our children, who are walking to school and doing nothing but trying to go to school and do the right thing.
There you go. So thieves out there right now are running around and targeting children. It's bad enough pedos want your children. The schools are polluting your children's mind. And now you got thieves out there who are looking for your children's cell phone. One thing I can say is that a lot of these young children have more expensive cell phones than me. I don't understand it. They don't work. They don't work, but yet they got very expensive cell phones. Children are being made easy targets because they are carrying something very, very expensive with them. And a lot of these cell phones nowadays, ladies and gentlemen, are unlocked. Right? A lot of people buy unlocked cell phones because they want the freedom to take it to whatever carrier they want. So this makes it very, very lucrative for these thieves to go ahead and make a living stealing off your children and essentially stealing off your hard-earned work. Cell phones, in my opinion, for children are a big distraction to begin with. A very big distraction. They should only have a cell phone where they should make it maybe like back in the day, like a flip phone. And you can only program 2 numbers in the phone. Right? One for mama, one for daddy, and they got 911 on there. They should have that cell phone for children. Children don't need to be on the cell phone doing nothing else. In my personal opinion, if the child ain't richy rich, the child don't need a cell phone. Don't at all. And if they need a cell phone, they should have one of those type of cell phones where you can only program 2 numbers, mama, daddy, and then you got the emergency, 911. Children don't need nothing else. But we live in a new age where, they go to school and they have these cell phones, and you know what they're doing? They're over here filming and recording fights, right? Laughing at one another while they're doing pranks. So cell phones are a distraction, in my opinion, once more again. And since this new cell phone generation, kids have been dumber and dumber. We have all this technology around us, And it seemed like the more technology we have, the dumber you get. Don't you guys think that? Right? Even look at the invention of the calculator. Right? A lot of folks back in the day used to be very math smart. Right? You used to have a calculator. Some folks, did math in their head. And in this new invention of cell phones and all this other stuff, these children ain't using their head no more. Instead of them to be doing what they need to do, they look in some sort of electronic device. It's really crazy. The more electronics we have, the dumber we get. The dumber we get. I kid you not. So, I mean, it's crazy. And even with this new generation, when it comes to online class taking, I've taken classes online. I don't learn really much taking classes online. People out there, there's a swath of them. They say that, online courses are good. They've learned a lot. I don't see how a lot of folks can learn online. I just can't. I got to be in a class physically. I have to have that tangible book in my hand. You get what I'm saying? I have to have that pencil. I have to have that, that physical interaction with it, so it can mentally stick. I don't understand how these people are able to do it. I don't know. But, I guess folks out there smarter than me. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you do share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to somebody who just donated here. I would like to go ahead and give a shout out to, let me pull this up here. Thomas Williams said, I would like to start a $10 challenge. He donated on our PayPal. Shout out to Thomas Williams. Shout out to that's actually Frank Williams. So shout out to Frank Williams. Absolutely. Shout out to Mr. Frank Williams. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. All right. Next one up. I want to speak about Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, ladies and gentlemen, my goodness gracious. Let me tell you, it's getting down to business right now with Joe Rogan. There's a lot of people in the industry that are looking for what they call clout, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know what clout is? For clout. Well, clout is attention, right? Clout is some sort of fame. Clout, ladies and gentlemen, is like some sort of, how can I say this? Yeah, it's just some sort of fame. Somebody who's trying to get rich off of something that you're doing. And right now, there's a lot of people out there who are looking for clout. A lot of folks. I kid you not, a lot of folks out there who are looking for clout. One of them being Arie. Arie is a singer, I believe. Arie, ladies and gentlemen, is a singer. She is on Spotify. And what's going on is that she wants people to boycott Joe Rogan. And the reason why she wants people to boycott Joe Rogan is because she says that he's inaccurate with his quote-unquote vaccine information. He's spreading that disinformation. And also, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Rogan is a racist. I kid you not. This is what she's saying. And to back up her claims of what she's saying, you know what she's doing? She's pushing out, ladies and gentlemen, crazy. She's pushing out old clips of Joe Rogan saying the N-word. I kid you not. She went and chopped up some clips, some old clips of Joe Rogan saying the N-word. And she's saying that this is Joe Rogan, his personality, and he's a racist. And if Spotify keeps Joe Rogan, they're keeping a racist. This is what she's saying. I want people to understand this. This is what she's saying in the Arie. So all these artists who ain't worth a crap, there has been, nobody gives a rip who they are. They're coming out of the woodworks and they're going after Joe Rogan. Indy Arie, I don't know when's the last time she even had a hit. Nobody out here could probably tell me a song she had. But she's a black woman and she's upset. I want to go ahead and run this clip. When I come back, I want to speak about it. Make sure you guys share, because I'm going to need your help on this one. Here we go.
Hey y'all, I want to leave a short message here about why I decided to ask my music be pulled off of Spotify. So check this out.
Like, you know,
the nigger thing.
Yes.
Saying the word nigger.
Well, you've already said nigger.
D is just like nigger. Saying nigger.
She's calling you a nigger. It's like this boy that he's a nigger and starts calling them niggers.
Word nigger. There should be a word like nigger, especially like the word nigger. That's our nigger.
About niggers.
He says nigger. Guy, a nigger. And then our niggers start saying nigger. Allowed to use the word nigger. Without the word nigger, see nigger, word nigger. Say nigger, and you couldn't say nigger. And most nigger.
I empathize with the people who are leaving for the COVID disinformation reasons, and I think that they should. I also think that Joe Rogan has the right to say what he wants to say. I also think that I have the right to say what I want to say. So as an artist who builds, Spotify is built on the back of the music streaming. So they take this money that's built from streaming and they pay this guy $100 million, but they pay us 0.003% of a penny. Just take me off. I don't want to generate money that pays this. Just take me off. That's where I'm at. And I know that I'm actually, to be honest with you, surprised that my statements were picked up, because I thought people weren't really going to listen to me, because that's what I'm used to from the industry. But I'm glad that I am being heard, and for that reason, I want to clarify my statements. Again, this is why. Watch this.
No white people. Says, okay, take me to this one. And the guy goes, okay. I goes, is that in a good neighborhood? He's like, oh, yeah. Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out, and we're giggling. Oh, we're going to see Planet of the Apes. We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door, and there was no white people. It says, okay, take.
So we know how social media can be. Things can be doctored. People are taken out of context. It's happened to me many times. However, I want to be clear, in no uncertain terms, where I stand on this is that he shouldn't even be uttering the word. Don't even say it under any context. Don't say it. That's where I stand. It's my right to stand there. I have always stood there. I have other feelings about it, but those are nuances that are not meant for this moment. He shouldn't even be saying it. And so the confluence of energies comes into play here. So now we have this person who is offensive to a lot of people, who's paid $100 million. Spotify, the backbone of Spotify is the music. So you pay the musicians that are the backbone of your business 0.003 to 0.005% of a penny, and you take this money that you generate over here, because all the rest of it goes somewhere. The subscription fees go somewhere. So you take this money that's generated over here and you use it to invest in this guy. Do what you want, but take me off. Or pay me too. And I don't just mean me, I mean us. Artists like me, pay us too.
Indie Arie must live in the hood.
Pay podcasters of color too.
And let me stop it there. She's calling out to podcasters of color. There you go. Indie Arie. Indie Arie. She's absolutely upset. She is mad right now, ladies and gentlemen. And you know why? Because she's figuring out that ladies and gentlemen, that the crying, the virtue signaling gets you into the spotlight. That's why you see so many of these folks coming out and doing it. Right? She said, I didn't think anybody really cared about me. Nobody cares about you. It's the simple fact that you are latching on to the virtue signal. You're latching on to what the liberals want. You're building that narrative for them. They don't like Joe Rogan anymore. So if they could get people like Indie Arie, right? People of color to get upset, they could take down Joe Rogan. How much you want to bet? Right? Old ass white Neil Young, right? He couldn't do it. Neil Young's like, I'm out of here, right? Nobody really cared about him. A black woman. Somebody gonna care. And all she gotta do is keep complaining and running her lips. Mainstream black America will rally around her. And if you want to know who can take down Joe Rogan, it's a group of black women. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet? Because that's exactly what they're going to do. This is evil and it's outrageous. They went and dug up clips of him using the N-word. And let's get this straight here on the N-word. These Negroes say the N-word every cotton-picking day. All right? Every day. They make millions of dollars, buku money, for saying the N-word every day, for saying the word nigger. I want people to understand this. Every day they're saying this word, they're making millions of dollars. Joe Rogan uses the word nigger. Oh my God, it's the end of the world right now. Your feelings are hurt. Did you see her hurt like this? No. But she knows that there's gullible whites out there. And you know what? These gullible whites are going to buck, right? Like some horses that need some training. They're going to be bucking. Hold on. They're going to be bucking. That's exactly what they're going to be doing. They're going to be bucking and buck dancing to the tune. That's what they're going to be doing. Every day, black folks are using the word nigger. Africans are using the word nigger. Asians are using the word nigger. You don't see black folks complaining. Soon as they can find a European, a Caucasian person who does not know their worth, who's dumb and retarded, who's naive, to complain about the N-word to, they can take advantage of that person. That's exactly what they want. I want people to understand this. They don't care about the N-word. They know that there's people out there who are gullible. The people who do this, oh my goodness, Blackie, somebody called you a nigga. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, somebody called you a nigga. I can't believe it. In 2022, somebody called you a nigga. See, this is racist America. They're looking for somebody like that who's dumb and retarded to finesse. And there's plenty of white folks who are like that. They don't know any better. There's something wrong with them who will buy exactly what she's saying and get the person out. And the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, the people at the top know what the deal is. They could care less about the racism or whatever the F she's saying. They want to use her for a political agenda. They want to use blacks and quote unquote the idea of racism for a political agenda. I want people to understand that. So India Arie, she's a political pawn in this game. She is. She is a political pawn. And I want folks to understand that. Evil. Absolutely evil. And they went and called, these people are absolutely evil. Absolutely evil. You can't even get around it. Went and played Joe Rogan, and then he talks about, I was even dying when he said he jumped out and he thought it was the Planet of the Apes. Shoot, you should see the way black folks talk.
No white people. Says, okay, take me to this one. And the guy goes, okay. Goes, that in a good neighborhood? He's like, oh, yeah. Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out, and we're giggling. Oh, we're going to see Planet of the Apes. We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa,
and the thing is, this is hilarious. This is hilarious. I don't care who you are. This is hilarious. Black folks do the same thing. When they go into a place, they say, you know what? I bet there's all white folks here. Yeah, I bet there's all crackers, all saltine crackers up in here. I'm the only only black person here amongst all these saltines. This is the way black folks talk. So the thing is here, ladies and gentlemen, black folks here are complaining. They're acting like little children, pointing out dumb stuff, trying to get other folks to be kicked off and violated. And the thing is, black folks aren't being kicked off and violated. And that's what needs to happen. The more you allow black folks to sit here and run this nonsense game and act as if the things they're doing is magical, the more BS that they're going to push out like this. Who gives a rip what Joe Rogan says? Shoot. I mean, this is just out of control. This is the new day and age where they go back in your history. You could be 5 years old and called a little, you could be a white man. They will go back all the way in your history. They'll find a black person that you're pissed off at, and he's ready to complain. You could be 5 years old, call him a nigga, and then your life is ruined. This is the way our world is. It's absolutely ridiculous. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my guy, RC. RC donated, took the $10 challenge. Says, I got your six. Absolutely. Shout out to yeah, and the thing is, shout out to RC. He said, when I see some of my black friends, they refer to me as their Puerto Rican brother, and they call me the N-word. Yeah, listen. The thing, even Puerto Ricans call each other niggas. Everybody, I mean, this idea that the N-word is somehow only for black people to somehow have a special usage and a determination of, what they feel is appropriate when anybody can use it or not is preposterous. It's absolutely out of control, and it's not right, and it's, how could I say, it's insane to even have that thought process. It is. I know white folks who call each other niggas. I know Puerto Ricans who do it, Mexicans who do it, Asians who do it. I know dogs and cats who do it. We are at this time in history where there's so many folks right now who do this. You could say the N-word on TV. The FCC ain't stopping anybody from using the N-word. So, this notion where somebody's going to get upset because a white man or Joe Rogan or whoever used the N-word, I think you're dumb. I really think you're really dumb. And this blaming of the N-word, black folks, you're going to run into a white person who's going to have the balls to challenge you. And when that happens, Lord help you, let me tell you. Because all they have to do is use common sense and knock down all your bullshit arguments. That's it. All a white person has to do is use common sense. And I hope Joe Rogan does it. He says, well, I'm going to keep saying the N-word. I don't give a rip what you niggas think. I hope he says this. I really do. Because then it will bring the onus back on black folks to start using common sense. You don't like anybody using the word? Then don't use it. Period. If you want folks to use it, keep using it. You've made millions of dollars using the word. Right? It's subjective on who you want and who you like to use the N-word. It's the same thing with sexual harassment at the workplace. Ain't it right, ladies? Right? If it's a guy who's rubbing your ass and you like him, right? That ain't sexual harassment. But if it's a guy that you don't like and he's rubbing your ass, bingo, bango, that's sexual harassment. Ain't it right, ladies? Yeah. So let's not play that game. Let's not. I think we're all too old for that. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Next one up. I want to go ahead here and speak about Brian Flores. We spoke about him the other day, and his accusations about the league and certain teams being racist because apparently he was skipped over for an NFL head coaching job has really sparked a lot of madness in the sport right now. There's a lot of divisions being made, and it's being made across racial lines. I want folks to understand that. There's a lot of black, sports figures right now, very famous ones, who are taking to their social media to speak about racism in the NFL and racism in a lot of other leagues, saying that there's not enough black people in quote-unquote management positions. I want to go ahead and run this new report, and it's with John Elway. John Elway is saying that the accusations of Flores' racism suit holds no merit. And as a matter of fact, it's false and defamatory. I want to go ahead and run this. When I come back, I want to speak about it. Because I'm with John Elway. He has a very simple logic to this. And the logic, I think, is what most people are actually hating him on. Take a look at this. Make sure you share.
The end zones, meanwhile, are already painted at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, as we now are just 9 days away from the Bengals and Rams playing Super Bowl 56. But the game is not the biggest story in the NFL right now, as front offices continue to push back against allegations made by former coaches in recent days. Former Denver Broncos general manager, current president of football operations, John Elway, the Hall of Famer, said he could not be silent any longer regarding claims made in a class action lawsuit filed by former Dolphins coach Brian Flores. The suit alleges Elway and other members of the Broncos front office showed up an hour late to interview Flores for a head coaching job in 2019. The suit claims, quote, they looked disheveled and it was obvious they had been drinking heavily the night before. It labels the interview as a sham. Elway responded yesterday in a statement calling the accusations false and defamatory. He wrote in part, for Brian to make an assumption about my appearance and state of mind early that morning was subjective, hurtful, and just plain wrong. If I appeared disheveled, as he claims, it was because we'd flown in during the middle of the night and were going on a few hours of sleep to meet the only window provided to us. Elway also defending the substance of the interview, adding, quote, I interviewed Brian in good faith, giving him the same consideration and opportunity as every other candidate for our head coaching position. Meanwhile, the New York Giants yesterday addressed the string of text messages Flores says he received from Patriots head coach Bill Belichick, informing him the Giants had made their head coaching choice 3 days before Flores was scheduled to interview. The Giants called Flores' allegations about the legitimacy of his candidacy for our head coach position disturbing and simply false. The team said it did not decide on its new coach until the day after Flores' second interview and a day-long visit with the Giants. The team also criticized the decision to base the allegation on a text exchange with Belichick as irresponsible. Rev, you have Brian Flores on your show this weekend. We'll look forward to that interview. I know you've been in touch with him about all this. What's his response to the team's response?
Well, he's going to be on Politics Nation tomorrow. I think that the evidence of this text message, the fact that we are looking at 32 teams and only one black coach in 32 teams and no black owners. I mean, they can go through nitpicking all they want with trying to justify things. The fact of the matter is that the NFL, which civil rights leaders, me as head of National Action Network, head of NACP, Urban League and all, are asking for Goodell to meet, because how do you explain what Flores is raising in terms of the industry as a whole has not lived up to their whole commitment commitment when they went with the Rooney Rule. It has not worked.
Wow. I want people to listen to this. He's complaining that out of the 32 teams, there's only one black head coach and no black NFL owners. This is what he's saying. I want folks to understand there's no one stopping black millionaires and billionaires. And there's a whole bunch of them out there. From creating their own team and pitching it to some town or city. There's none. So that is just, to me, dumb. It's preposterous to even think about some dumb like that. And then when we get down to it, he's complaining about the practice of hiring coaches. If you look at the NFL right now, if you look at majority of a lot of these national sports teams, they're bigoted black. Hold on. They're bigoted black. As a matter of fact, I don't even think a white man has a chance. That's how crazy it is. Our nation's teams don't even represent the population in our country. So how are you going to get mad at how the NFL coaching is being picked? Now, I want people to use common sense here. To the black idiot out there, right? They would say, well, Jermaine, the reason why there's so many blacks on the national teams like the NBA, the NFL, is because when it comes to these sports, Jermaine, blacks are just a lot better. Right? This is what they would say. Yeah, it's just a lot better, Jermaine. That's why. And I would venture to say when it comes to smarts, when it comes to leading in a lot of these areas, right? Organization, management, I would venture to say to you Negroes out there, maybe the white man's better. Because I know when it comes to being a quarterback, and I will stand on this, the best quarterbacks are white. I kid you not. The best quarterbacks are white. Why is that? That is a question I pose to black folks all day long. You can't come and talk to me about Michael Vick or Warren Moon or Cam Newton. Don't y'all even bring those names when you speak about the great ones. They've been wicked at white as snow. Why? And I can tell you, after I play a little bit of this.
And when you look at the overall picture and then you bring in what he is saying, the allegations, it matches. If that is not the case, Goodell has a responsibility to sit with people. You must remember that taxpayers in municipalities help to fund these stadiums. You're talking about our tax dollars in an industry where we can't be coached and where we can't be owners. So Goodell needs to come to the table and deal with this lawsuit. We're not talking about just the people out there that love a sport. You're talking about using taxpayers' dollars to support systemic discrimination. And I think Flores has brought that back to the forefront.
John, the Rooney Rule, which requires NFL teams to interview minority candidates for positions, coaches, not just head coaches, assistant coaches as well, went into place in 2003. As we sit here today, the only team with a black head coach is the Pittsburgh Steelers with Mike Tomlin, who's been there for a long time. Another vacancy was filled last night by Doug Peterson, a longtime coach. We're down to 3 vacancies, I think, the Saints, the Texans, and somebody else. The Dolphins, of course, where Flores was. He is up for one of those jobs, perhaps 2. It remains to be seen if we go into next season now with one black head coach in the NFL.
And it's a league where 65-70% of the players are African American, and to only have one head coach, you contrast that to the NBA where there's much better representation in the coaching ranks. And give credit to Flores.
And how about the whites? Right? You said 70%. I think it's outrageous for them to be thinking like this. And you can see, ladies and gentlemen, that black folks are like their mama. They're very selective, right? They're very selective. How come they're not speaking about the skiers, right? We have a whole bunch of skiers in our country, the national team, right? They're mostly white. How about the MLB, right? Major League Baseball. Most of them folks are white. How come black folks ain't complaining there? Right? How about hockey? My son loves hockey, the Minnesota Wild. Ladies and gentlemen, how come Negroes ain't crying about the National Hockey League? Right? I mean, black folks, I think there's, probably 1 or 2 black players. No, I think there's maybe 5. There's 5 black players in the National Hockey League, right? Next to some black pucks and hockey sticks. How come Negroes out there ain't complaining about hockey? How come? How about the national soccer team? Men and women's. How come the Negroes ain't complaining about that? Do you see where I'm going, ladies and gentlemen? You see where I'm going. Negroes only complain about the stuff they want like their mama. They're not equal across the board. You Negroes are complaining about this and that. How come you're not complaining about the National Hockey League? I'm just saying, shout out to Pookie Martinez. Rugby. Rugby's taking off. We don't see you Negroes complaining about rugby. But you're only complaining about the NFL and the NBA. This is nonsense. It really is. And the Rooney Rule is doing nothing but pissing off a lot of folks. It's pissing off the folks that is supposed to, quote unquote, help. And it's pissing off the folks that have to abide by it. Makes no sense in the world. And I think that that's something that black folks have they have an issue with. Maybe when it comes to organization, management, right? Maybe when it comes to that area, there are more Caucasians who are better at it. Could that be black folks? Black folks out there. Could that be? And I want to ask black folks something. Would you just want somebody black in there because a black person hasn't been there before, but yet they're mentally inferior to the white person and that's why they got picked? Does that somehow make you feel better I know that makes a lot of women feel better. You know, they call that equality. Ain't that right, ladies? Yeah, they call that equality. But I'm just asking. It's a very simple question. Because I know there's some black folks who think like their mama who will think that it's okay. And I want black folks to understand that's a weak mentality thinking. You want somebody in there because they're black. No matter if they're mentally inferior, right? And for anybody who doesn't know what that means, it means you're dumb. You're dumber, right? Than the white person who was going for the same job. What does that make you feel better? Because I know if I was picked because I was black and I was in the same position as a white person and they were better than me, I would want them to get the job. I wouldn't want to be picked just because there's a law or some sort of mandate out there that forces a company or a person to do it. I want to feel like I've earned the position, right? Not just given to me because of my skin color. And I think that's where the divide is. When you're raised by mama, mama accepts that. It feels good to mama. Mama likes participation trophies. Mama doesn't like people talking rough, right? I want people to understand that it's a female mentality. There's always going to be winners and losers. And when you're raised by your mama, you're raised in this new generation, everything is about fairness, right? There's no winners and losers. It's about fairness. And this is what equality and being raised on fairness looks like. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Exactly. Just like Pookie Martin is just like Biden choosing a black woman. Black women are so dumb that they can't understand that, hey, we want to be on equal footing with other white women, right? We want you to pick the best person for the job. And if it's a black woman, even better, right? Because she is meant for the job. She's qualified. She's the best. Not because she's black. And when you're a woman, you accept that. Most women don't like competition. Right? They don't like the aggressiveness of competition. Most women don't like that at all. To think about winning and losing. They don't like that type of stuff. So how do? You subvert a lot of that by speaking about fairness. Remember we showed you guys a story where there was a football team, a youth football team, never lost, beat a team by almost 200 points. The next day, the female person who runs the league, one of these folks out of there, she wanted to get rid of the team because they win too much. They said it's unsportsmanlike. One of the guys said out there it's unsportsmanlike for them to win too much. This is what happens when you allow these things to happen. Right? You're not very honest about these things. It's quite unfortunate. Moving forward. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Next one up. I want to speak about Border Patrols being shot at by the cartels. There's a lot of stories going out right now about the Border Patrol being shot at by the cartel members. Biden has weakened our security at the border, and he has put our Border Patrol members in harm's way. I want you guys to take a look at this. When it comes back, I want to speak about it. Here we go.
Just earlier this week, there was actually an incident in which Border Patrol agents were shot at from across the Rio Grande River. This is historically not typical. It's traditionally not perceived as good business practice for the cartel to pick fights with Border Patrol for fear of the United States cranking up the heat. But the reality is that this is becoming more and more common down here.
This is very much outside the norms, but that just shows you how emboldened these cartels are right now.
Brandon Judd, president of the National Border Patrol Council, is still in disbelief. Tuesday night around 6 p.m., several Border Patrol agents were shot at from across the Rio Grande River while responding to suspected migrants in Fronton, Texas. But this is not the first time this has happened. And in fact, it's the third incident since the first of this year near Fronton.
What's scary about this is it's happening in the exact same area, which shows you how far we've fallen.
There you go. So Biden has put our Border Patrol members in harm's way. You know, when President Trump was in office, I never heard the cartel members shooting at the Border Patrol. I never heard skirmishes like this. You know, I never heard the Border Patrol being in harm's way. But ever since Mr. Magoo has taken the helm, you can see the secret flights. You can see people rushing across the border every day. And now the cartel members are emboldened. They know that Mr. Magoo is not going to do the right thing. They know that Mr. Magoo is going to allow them to do whatever they want. So that's why they're taking shots at the Border Patrol members. And the Border Patrol members right now, I think they're like social workers. All they're doing is ferrying, these people over and helping them out. That's all they're doing. They're not doing their job. There's a viral video out there of Border Patrol members speaking up and having I believe, a confrontation with their commander. They're very upset with them. I'm going to try to get that video. But that's what's going on. These people are evil and they're wicked. Shout out to Eat All, Save None for Later. They are. They're very evil and they are wicked. Mr. Magoo, he hates me and you. He certainly does. And we need to pray for our Border Patrol members, because they are in harm's way every single day. Let me tell you, every day. I couldn't imagine going to work, lacing up every day, and being put in harm's way, where your commander, where the politicians, the department you work for, is illegally helping to move these undocumented illegal aliens across America, giving them food, doing the most. They're literally helping with the destruction of America. A lot of them don't want to do it, and a lot of them are happy to do it. That's why I said a very long time ago, ladies and gentlemen, in this day and age, law enforcement has to pick what side they're on. Either you're going to help the American citizen or you're going to help the New World Order. And that would be to trample on the constitutional rights of American citizens. And that's what they're doing every single day. It's quite unfortunate. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you share. Next one up here, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to somebody who just donated here. I want to go ahead here and give a shout out to Teresa Nicole. Shout out to you. Donated, took our $10 challenge. Very, very, very beautiful woman. Shout out to you. And make sure you guys hit that right now. All right. Make sure you share. We're going to need your help. We definitely going to need your help. Next one up. Pull this up here. I want to speak about Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani was on a show called The Masked Singer. Apparently, it's a show where they have a person singing and they're masked. I think they have them in a costume and stuff. And they basically get just famous folks, athletes, just people who are relevant in the media. And in this episode here, they got Rudy Giuliani. And what happened was that at the end of the show, they usually do a big reveal. And they revealed Rudy Giuliani, and this led to folks walking out of the show. Apparently, 2 of the judges walked out after Rudy Giuliani was revealed. I want to go ahead and run this clip. When it come back, I want to speak about it. Here we go.
Drama on the set of the popular TV show The Masked Singer after Rudy Giuliani was revealed as a contestant. Judges Robin Thicke and Ken Jeong reportedly left the stage in protest when they saw Giuliani remove his giant costume. Fellow judges Jenny McCarthy and Nicole Scherzinger remained on stage and bantered with Giuliani, a top Donald Trump advisor. A promo for the singing competition was just released introducing the new masked characters.
The good, the bad, and the cuddly.
So which one is Giuliani, the Green Ogre, the Frog Prince? We won't know for sure until March 9th when the 7th season premieres. This isn't the first time The Masked Singer has featured a polarizing political figure. Former vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin was unveiled in 2020.
Governor Sarah Palin! Holy snap! Wow!
She's actually demanding that clips from the show be barred from her libel trial against the New York Times, which began today in Manhattan.
What I'm trying to accomplish? Justice for people who expect truth in the media.
The federal judge delayed the case a week after Palin, who is unvaccinated, tested positive for COVID.
How you feeling, Sarah? Perfect.
She told reporters she got a negative COVID test last night. She was asked to put on a mask after walking into the federal courthouse without one. Today, a jury of 4 men and 5 women were chosen and opening statements began. Now, this case is a big one and could have momentous implications. If Palin wins, it would be a public rebuke of the nation's leading newspaper and the press as a whole.
In any kind of defamation case, what they will have to prove, what Sarah Palin will have to prove, is actual malice. And this was an editorial where there were 2 sentences under dispute. And those 2 sentences were corrected 12 hours later.
There you go. So that's the story. 2 of the judges walked out. They were both male, right? Betas! 2 betas. Beta men got up and left while the women sat there and bantered with them. See, the men are weak in this country. Absolutely weak. But this goes to show you that conservatives aren't liked in the media. We already knew this. Liberal America, mainstream media, they don't like conservatives. And the reason why they don't like conservatives is because, ladies and gentlemen, of what we represent. It's cool and trendy to mock conservatives, right? To get up and leave, right? That's what chicks do. I don't like her. I'm just going to get up and leave. That's weak. And that's our society nowadays. The guys are weak. And this type of nonsense is accepted. It really boils down to morality nowadays. People care more about feelings rather than doing the right thing. And when you are too emotional, remember I told you that emotional people can't be trusted? People who are too emotional, they cannot be trusted because they can always flip on you. They're never grounded, right? Emotional people are never honest when it comes to something that hurts their feelings, something that, leads to a conviction, I would say. They're never honest. We have to rise above the emotion. And we have to be honest. That is the only way. Rudy Giuliani, I don't know why he got on there for. I don't know why. The media doesn't like him. He was probably paid handsomely to be on there. But the media doesn't like him. And all he's doing is giving them something to talk about. That's all he's doing. Shout out to Eat All Save None for Later. Yeah, he must need the money. He's going to need the money. He's being sued through the roof. He's being sued through the gosh darn roof. Him and that Kraken lawyer, Sidney Powell. Sidney Powell already owe $250,000 already. Already she owe $250,000 to some sort of Michigan. A judgment's already in. She owe $250,000. And now she's paying attorney fees through the roof so that she can fight this Dominion case that she's losing. Rudy Giuliani is being sued through the roof too. They didn't drop his Dominion case. He's paying through the teeth and nose. So these folks, they're doing some strange stuff for a piece of change. And you gotta be broke to be doing something like this. You used to be a mayor of a very prominent city. You're a prominent lawyer and attorney, and you're in a fuzzy suit dancing. I want people to understand that. How do you go from all that? I want people to understand. Look at this. How do you go from being a mayor of a prominent city to being a personal mayor for the lawyer, for the president, to dancing on stage in a fuzzy suit? I want people to understand, how do you get that? That's an extreme jump, ain't it? All of a sudden you're tap dancing for nickels. Ain't you? I mean, you gotta be tap dancing for nickels. Look. You gotta be tap dancing for nickel. What the heck going on? So I just want to show folks that you went from being a prominent lawyer and attorney to a mayor, to the lawyer, to the president's personal lawyer, an attorney, to dancing on gosh darn stage, tap dancing in a fuzzy suit. Man, something going on. You gotta be on crack. You gotta be. I don't care who you are, you gotta be on crack. Rudy Giuliani, I don't think you got the right to talk anymore. I couldn't go around and talk and talk about anybody. I couldn't. You can't even talk about a liberal. You threw on one of these fuzzy suits and you're tap dancing. Man, all somebody got to do is bring that up and you're gone. That's an immediate roast right here. I don't care who you are. Let me go ahead and, ladies and gentlemen, which one do you think is Rudy Giuliani? Which one do you think he's tap dancing for change? Which one? Is it the frog right here? Well, maybe it's this guy right here. Does it look like Rudy? Rudy, are you this right here, Rudy? Maybe Rudy is this ugly thing here. Man, I'm telling you, Rudy, which one? I know you ain't this one, Rudy. Rudy, if you tap dancing on this one, man, I have to bring my roasting power times 10 on this one. This one is times 20 though. Look at this. Rudy, I mean, Tutti Frutti is what they're going to call you after this. People are thinking the green one, the one-eyed one. You know what, Rudy? You got a new name. Tutti Frutti. Tutti Frutti Rudy. That's what man, it's Tutti Frutti Rudy. I'm telling you. It is crazy to me. Oh my goodness. I don't understand. That's an extreme though, ain't it? Ladies and gentlemen, you see the extremeness, right? From a prominent lawyer to a mayor to the president's personal attorney to tap dancing. Oh my gosh. Man. He gotta be Brizzoke. Man, they probably say, you know what, Rudy? You know what, Rudy? You know what we're going to do? We're going to drop all the charts. The Luciferian probably came up to him and made him a deal. He said, yeah, see all my Luciferian partners here. You know how evil we are. Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle. Rudy, you know what we want from you? You need to humiliate yourself. Yeah, if you want us to leave you alone, absolutely. You know what? If you go ahead and you tap dance wearing a fuzzy suit, we're going to drop all your legal problems right now. All right? Yeah, you're going to have to tap dance. Yeah. I'm telling you, Luciferians came up to him with a deal. They were like, you know what, Rudy, we're gonna cut you a break. All you gotta do is tap dance in these fuzzy suits. That's it. You know, just do a little Michael Jackson moonwalk on the stage a bit. You know, do the two-step or something, Macarena, something. Oh my goodness gracious, man. Let's go ahead and move forward. Next one up. I want to speak about Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump. Donald Trump and Lindsey Graham, ladies and gentlemen, they having a big battle right now. Let me tell you. Yeah, they having a big battle right now. Lindsey Graham, Donald Trump. And it's because of Donald Trump going, I mean not Donald Trump, but what's his name? Lindsey Graham going on Face the Nation. Yeah, he went on Face the Nation. And he spoke about a lot of things. He spoke about Michelle Obama. And I actually want to let this clip run because it's pretty good to speak about. And he spoke about Donald Trump. He spoke about the J6ers. Now, he's going to piss off a lot of folks. I want to let folks know that right now. He's going to piss off a lot of folks because he was asked about Donald Trump's speech he made during his rally. You guys remember that, right? He was asked about it. And what happened was that when it came down to the J6ers, he has a difference of an opinion than Donald Trump when it comes to pardoning the people that were at the quote-unquote J6 riot. And I want to go ahead and run this clip here. I want to pop in at certain segments, and when it comes back, I want to speak about it. Here we go. Make sure you share.
President Biden has promised to name a black woman to replace Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer. Contenders include Ketanji Brown Jackson of Washington, D.C., Leandra Kruger of California, and Michelle Childs of South Carolina. The only potential nominee that the White House has publicly acknowledged being under consideration is Childs. South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham joins us from Clemson, South Carolina this morning. Good morning to you, Senator.
Good morning.
As you know, coming up on this program, Congressman Jim Clyburn, he has said repeatedly in interviews that South Carolina Federal District Judge Michelle Childs, not only as someone he likes, but that both South Carolina Republican senators will support her. So he's talking about you. Did you tell him you're a yes vote on Childs?
Here's what I will tell him and the nation. I can't think of a better person for President Biden to consider for the Supreme Court than Michelle Childs. She has wide support in our state. She's considered to be a fair-minded, highly gifted jurist. She's one of the most decent people I've ever met. it would be good for the court to have somebody who's not at Harvard or Yale. She's a graduate of the University of South Carolina, a public education background. She's been a workers' comp judge. She's highly qualified. She's of good character, and we'll see how she does if she's nominated. But I cannot say anything bad about Michelle Childs. She is an awesome person.
That sounds like pretty close to yes. You're a yes vote?
Well, Wood, I don't know if she's going to be nominated. If she's nominated, she will not be treated like Judge Kavanaugh, I promise you, by Republicans. Let's see how she does at the hearing. But I think I made it pretty clear that I'm a big admirer of
you did.
Judge Childs. And I'd like to see the court have a little more balance, some common sense on it. Everybody doesn't have to be from Harvard and Yale. It's okay to go to a public university and get your law degree.
Well, you have been glowing in your descriptions, but your colleague, Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi, said picking a female black Supreme Court justice is affirmative racial discrimination. He questioned any potential impartiality from any of the candidates named. Nikki Haley of South Carolina also tweeted the president should not have a race or gender litmus test. President Reagan promised to nominate a woman, Sandra Day O'Connor. So why is this different?
Well, it's not different to me. Put me in the camp of making sure the court and other institutions look like America. You know, we make a real effort as Republicans to recruit women and people of color to make the party look more like America.
Did you guys catch that? So this is the main reason why Republicans don't get that far, because we have people like Lindsey Graham that are there. He doesn't see anything wrong with Biden doing this. As a matter of fact, he's real enthusiastic about one of the nominees. I want people to understand that. He's not upset about the way Biden presented this. He's for it. I want people to understand that. Going for it.
Affirmative action is picking somebody not as well qualified for past wrongs. Michelle Childs is incredibly qualified. There's no affirmative action component if you pick her. She is highly qualified. And President Reagan said, running for office, that he wanted to put the first female on the court. Whether you like it or not, Joe Biden said, I'm going to pick an African-American woman to serve on the Supreme Court. I believe there are plenty of qualified African-American women, conservative and liberal, that could go onto the court. So I don't see Michelle Childs as an act of affirmative action. I do see putting a black woman on the court, making the court more like America. In the history of our country, we've only had 5 women serve and 2 African-American men. So let's make the court more like America, but qualifications have to be the biggest consideration. And as to Michelle Childs, I think she's qualified by every measure.
All right, Senator, I want to move on to Ukraine. Senator Menendez, Democrat, on another program this morning said they're nearing bipartisan agreement on a package of sanctions, some of which would put sanctions on Russia now, some later. I know you're part of the talks. I know you want sanctions now. So what exactly are you pushing for? What needs to be hit?
More against Russia, more for Ukraine. There's bipartisan support to sanction Russia now. They're dismembering the Ukraine by the invasion. The threat of invasion is 2022, for God's sake. You can't get your way by threatening to invade a country. So punish Putin now. More weapons to the Ukraine now so they can defend themselves. More economic aid to the Ukrainian economy so they can deal with the threat of invasion. And more troops to NATO. As Putin tries to dismantle NATO and divide NATO, I support President Biden's decision to send more troops in to reinforce NATO. He's trying to destroy a neighboring democracy. He hates democracy, Putin. And I will just say this to President Putin. If you invade the Ukraine, you will destroy the ability of future presidents to treat you and Russia as normal. You'll long for the good old days of the Cold War, because every president in the future will pound you. And every Congress in the future will pound you if you dismantle this democracy. So be careful what you wish for, my friend.
You see how strong these folks are talking. They can act quickly to go help NATO, to go help Ukraine and send some troops to their border. Right? Because you want to stop an invasion. We got an invasion at our border, and we can't get flimsy Lindsey to click his gosh darn heels together, right? His stilettos, and send some gosh darn troops to the border. We can't get that. This is the main reason why I said that a lot of these people are criminals in Congress. Makes no sense how you guys can click your heels this quickly and have sanctions and, all this other crap that you're doing. Right? We're sending aid to Ukraine. We're sending troops to NATO. We're going to show a big force on the border there. Right? Stopping an invasion. People going into the country that they don't want. Well, sir, we got people at our border flooded in that we don't want. Killers, murderers, and rapists. We can't get nothing. Nothing. So I want people to hear this. He talking real tough to Putin. Once you speak to the cartel in them, the people who are shooting at our Border Patrol agents like this, but you're not going forward.
Well, strong words there. We know President Biden is already looking at sanctions after an invasion. He's looking at sovereign debt sales, hitting oligarchs close to Vladimir Putin, the banks that handle critical industries, and on top of export-import restrictions. Is this enough, or are you saying you're pushing President Biden further?
The bipartisan working group will submit sanctions now. Look what Putin has done. He's
on what specifically, though?
He's hurting an array of pre-invasion sanctions. The Nord Stream 2 pipeline, which is a cash cow for Putin, that'll probably be after the invasion, knocking them out of financial systems that they will need to conduct business normally, the SWIFT program. All of this is on the table, but
the European allies don't support
now.
that.
It is 20. Well, the Congress has a different view here. I want sanctions on Putin's behavior now. What is Putin doing? He's threatening, he's wanting to get his way by threatening to invade a country. This is 2022, for God's sake. That's not the way to resolve disputes. So I think there'll be bipartisan support for sanctions now. There'll be a bipartisan support for more lethal aid now to the Ukraine, more economic assistance to the government now. And I think there's bipartisan support to reinforce NATO.
Okay, well, in your version of a bill, what would trigger invasion, right? Because there's an array of options Vladimir Putin's looking at. Does a cyber attack trigger sanctions?
A cyber attack against the United States would be an act of war, and we shall respond in kind. I am tired of Putin, China, and North Korea attacking us. If they blew up a pipeline, that would be an act of war. Well, if you shut it down through a cyber attack, it's the same outcome.
But a cyber attack in Ukraine.
My Russian friends. Yeah, well, any attack on the sovereignty of a nation, any attack on their critical infrastructure, any attack on their ability to do business. But he needs to be sanctioned now. What has he done? He's using the threat of force of arms to get his way. That should be outlawed in 2022. Listen, I want to support President Biden to the full extent possible. But the Congress is ready to sanction Putin now. But there'll be more sanctions come if he invades. And I will end with this point. If you invade the Ukraine, if Russia invades the Ukraine, no future president, no future Congress will give you a pass. It will change the relationship forever.
Senator, more than 730 people have been charged by the Justice Department for their role in the attack on the Capitol on January 6th to stop the certification of our election. Last night, President Trump at a rally said this.
If I run and if I win, we will treat those people from January 6th fairly. And if it requires pardons, we will give them pardons because they are being treated so unfairly.
Pardons? Do you agree?
Yeah. No, I don't want to send any signal that it was okay to defile the Capitol. There are other.
Wow. So I want you guys to understand. Lindsey Graham has the same opinion as the establishment Republicans. They could give a rip about you. That's why they ain't fighting for you. I want people to understand this is what he's saying. When we spoke about pardon, them being treated unfairly, he said, y'all gonna suffer.
Other groups with causes that may want to go down the violent path if these people get pardoned.
But isn't that a dangerous thing to say?
Harris, well, I think it's inappropriate. I don't want to reinforce that defiling the Capitol was okay.
There you go. So he's saying what President Trump is saying is inappropriate. And essentially he's, making the argument that he is pushing for violence. This is what the argument Lindsey Graham is essentially making, indirectly or directly. Here we go.
I don't want to do anything that would make this more likely in the future. And just let me finish my thought here. When Kamala Harris and her associates and the people that work for her staffers, raised money to bail out the rioters who hit cops in the head and burned down stores, I didn't like that either. So I don't want to do anything from raising bail to pardoning people who take the law in their own hands, because it will make more violence more likely. I want to deter people who did what on January the 6th, and those who did it, I hope they go to jail and get the book thrown at them because they deserve it.
Whoa. You heard that. I hope they go to jail and get the book thrown at. My gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear what Lindsey said? Get the book thrown at them. Sheesh. Man.
That was clear. Senator, before I let you go, I want to ask you, the district attorney in Georgia in Fulton County has gotten clearance to set up a grand jury to investigate President Trump. She says she wants to talk to you about that phone call you made to Georgia's Secretary of State 10 days after the election. Are you going to cooperate?
Yeah, give me a call. Yeah, I asked about how the system worked when it came to mail-in balloting. The January 6th committee was not the 9/11 committee. After 9/11, we came together. We formed a bipartisan committee after the next election.
I was talking about
what's
Georgia,
going on in Georgia in January the 6th? Yeah, I know, but there's an effort here to use the law, I think, inappropriately. So I don't know what they're going to do in Fulton County. I don't know what the January 6th committee is going to do. I expect those who defile the Capitol to be prosecuted. But there's a political movement using the law to try to knock Trump out of running. And I particularly don't like it or appreciate it.
Okay. Senator, thank you for joining us today.
There you go. Lindsey Graham. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham says that the J6ers need to be in jail and they need the book to be thrown at them. He's taken the establishment's position. I want you guys to know that. The establishment thinks like this. They want them in jail and the book thrown at them as well. So right now, Lindsey Graham, Donald Trump, they have a little beef going on. And it's because of what Lindsey Graham said on Face the Nation. I think it was absolutely wrong for Lindsey Graham to go up there and speak like this. He has right now let you know what side he is on. He's let you know that he's on the side of the Luciferians. That he does not see any patriots any patriots locked up, he sees terrorists. This is the same notion that Ted Cruz put out. Remember? Before Ted Cruz was brought back to reality, remember he called the J6ers terrorists and they should be locked up. You guys remember that, right? We don't have to play what he said. Ted Cruz said the same thing. He was brought back to reality. A lot of folks in the freedom movement, the patriots, are mad at him. When it comes to Lindsey Graham, he don't give a rip who's mad at him. He'll go to sleep well in his 9-inch stilettos. He'll go to sleep real well. So I want folks to understand that. These people could give a rip about you. They don't care. They don't care at all. Honestly. And it's such a shame. Such a shame. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for tonight. I want to thank everybody for coming on here. Everybody and their mamas. Mama! For coming out, hanging out with us. I'll be on tomorrow. We'll be streaming at noon. 2 hours of hell. As you guys know, it is Weekend Rumble. So I'll be letting my hair down, which is it's already down. Yeah. So, you know, my mouth is about to get a little bit nasty. And, you know, the top is going to be, you know, real nice and raunchy. Well, not raunchy, but, you know, it's get your heart pumping a little bit, though. Absolutely. So that's what it is. That's what it is. I want to thank everybody for coming out here, everybody for donating, and everybody for hitting that like button. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's what it is. I'll see you guys here tomorrow with another edition of Conservative Nation. We'll be streaming at noon, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? So you guys take care. Have a very, very good night. And we'll catch you guys here later with another edition of Conservative Nation. Bye-bye.